Welcome back, guys, to Political Perch. Today we are going to react to somewhat surprising, for me at least, Nevada Caucus. I am
Yep.
Andy, and this is,
I'm Ashton.
and we're your hosts of this Political Perch. And let's go ahead and just dive right on in. Ashton, I'm gonna go out and say my prediction was way wrong when it comes to who was gonna win Nevada. As we know, with 88% in and all the major news outlets projecting already got the final projections. Bernie Sanders is going to take claim of Nevada and by a huge margin. I think he's at 40%, or just about 40%.
47
47%, thank you.
at the
Um,
time of this recording. And it can go down, but
mhm.
it's basically a big one.
But he won a landslide, which is not
Yeah.
something I predicted. I predicted him to be, I think, second or third. You can go back and look at our last video and double check me. And I thought he was going to get under 15% because I thought that
Ooh.
the culinary union was going to be such a problem for him, but it didn't, and it didn't really affect him at all. And he landslided win, and Joe Biden got, I think, second. And we'll talk more about the placing and how we think in a second. But crazy
So,
Nevada. And what is your initial reactions, Ashton?
um, I think at first, uh, I will say congratulations to Sanders. His campaign did an excellent job in Nevada. He really needed Nevada, especially to build up Super Tuesday, because I honestly think Super Tuesday is going to be a rough day for Sanders, especially if he wasn't stringing along victories. So I am surprised he won it. I thought Pete Buttigieg would have more in the tank, and
Mm-hmm.
man, did Pete not do what he needed in that debate to be able to leapfrog over Biden? Because really, that's what Pete needed to do in order to stay viable. And same thing with Amy. Like, they needed to come second or first, and they didn't. And Biden needed a strong showing in Nevada. He either needed to win or come second. Does it shock me how well Sanders did? Yeah, I'm a little surprised by
Yeah.
how well he's doing with the Hispanic community this time. But then again, he is running against more candidates, and it's splintering the moderate vote a
Mhm.
little bit. So, uh, right now, Sanders is getting 17 delegates. Biden got 7.
Wow.
So, it's a good lead for Sanders, but you still only have 5% of delegates selected right now. Momentum right now is on his side, but I feel like he's gonna hit a bump in South Carolina, and that's the true test. If Sanders wins South Carolina, then man, some some campaigns need to really think hard
Yeah.
if they want to just let Sanders win or not.
The last thing I'll say about Nevada, um, before we move on to South Carolina, my home state.
Hmm.
Um, other than just us being really just shocked, you correctly predicted Sanders to win, so good for you. You get a point, and you're, I think, up right now 2-1 against me in the prediction of states so far.
Yeah,
Um,
you got New Hampshire right.
we're
Uh,
just so shocked, really, both of us. But like we said, how much he Sanders just creamed the rest of the candidates. I mean, it wasn't close.
yeah, the
Uh,
level of landslide has surprised me.
yeah, we didn't think with his history with minorities for him to get, like you said, the Latino vote was huge for him, and he had a pretty good debate. I wouldn't say it was his best debate. It wasn't, but it was still a solid performance from Sanders, who is shown to be an excellent debater. Um, just
I mean, he does fine. He says the same things every time. He's very Trumpy in that way. I'm not saying Sanders is Trump.
Trumpy.
Yeah, I'm saying his debating style is very
Yeah,
much like Trump. And to his credit, not a lot of people were going after him, and he didn't take many licks. I
yeah,
actually thought the only person to really land a blow on him was Bloomberg, ironically, who
which
had the
isn't
worst,
saying much
which isn't saying
when he's
much.
not even on the ballot for Nevada. But another thing about Nevada that we'll say real quick, that's shocking, is how bad Amy Klobuchar did in Nevada. She is lower
That
than
that
Tom
doesn't surprise.
Steyer on the delegate count. I mean the
I
percentage
never
count.
thought she was gonna do good. I think the more
Did you think she was
underrated.
going to do as bad as she did, though? I mean, worse than Tom Steyer, a person who spent almost zero time in Nevada?
Yeah, but he's been spending money and like she shouldn't have done worse than Tom Steyer. But really, the underreported issue is how bad Elizabeth Warren is doing. And
Yeah,
I have no clue. Like, I know Elizabeth Warren supporters are very proud of her candidacy, and I get that. Trust me, I was a Rubio supporter in the 2016 primary. I
as
didn't
was
want her
I.
to drop out. But you have to really look at it. She's just not getting the results she needs.
And you could
And
tell on her debate, she was very desperate. She was showing the desperation as she was going after every single candidate, attacking them. Good debate,
besides
good
Sanders.
points, but she needed to do more to say that she is the candidate that needs to win, and she's just not performing. And if she cannot pick up, if she does bad again in South Carolina, I think it's time for her to throw in the towel.
Well, the thing is, she reminds me a lot of Ted Cruz from 2016, where and wait for this comparison. You're
I'm
like,
waiting because I'm confused now.
because Ted Cruz kind of took the strategy of, oh, I'll sit behind Trump, I won't attack him, but I'll try to get his supporters when
Yeah,
he
but Ted Cruz won
collapses.
Iowa.
Yes, but my comparison is, who is like Donald Trump in this case? Bernie Sanders. Warren is kind of waiting
You
for
really like that
Sanders.
comparison, don't you? That's like
Yeah,
two
yeah.
times this video you've already compared Bernie Sanders to Trump.
Well, my point is, Warren is waiting for Sanders to collapse to get his very, very kind of like left leaning constituents, right? So
Right?
she doesn't attack him and she goes after everyone else, which to me, I feel like is the opposite of what she should actually do. And people are like, well, but Ashton,
But
she's
Ashton,
supposed to be getting votes from these other people. And I'm like, that hasn't worked for the last 6 months. What has she not done? Attack Bernie directly. She's done it a little bit,
she
but she
tried with that
hasn't.
whole sexism thing that everyone brushed off as stop lying. Um,
Yeah, that was just I I didn't
it,
get that whole thing. Besides her trying to shank Bernie in the back, and then Bernie brushed it off.
yeah, we're not going to discuss if we believe her claims or not, but a lot of the media just thought she was lying. I mean, that was what it was. I mean, it was talked about for a day or two and then brushed aside because it was a failed attempt at trying to attack Sanders' character, which just made her look in return a little bit worse. So that backfired on her, and that's what's happening. And I think now it's time to talk about my home state, the beautiful
South
state.
Carolina,
Oh,
and
the Palmetto State, South Carolina.
so let me preface this with
I'm
talking
ready
about
to vote, Ashton. I'm ready to vote.
your vote. And Andy, let's go through your preference history because
Nope,
you
don't. We're
were
not. Nope.
yeah, yeah,
No.
you were for Yang, and Yang
Still
gave you
am for
full
Yang. Still am. If only
what.
if he comes back, he has a place in my heart and my
He's a
house.
CNN commentator now, so you can hear his political analysis
The
for what
Yang.
it's worth.
The saddest day of my life was when I was driving, in my in my town, and I see the Yang headquarters shut down. And get this, it got turned into an AB Globochar headquarters. So she's next, Ashton. She's next.
Andy, I volunteered. I even met Rubio when he was running, and when he dropped out, I
That
remember
you were
that day.
crying that day.
Yeah, and then things happened, and now I don't like him as much. But moving past that, then you were like, I specifically remember this in my noggin, Andy, asking
Nope.
you who you were thinking
I think
about.
your noggin is messed up, Ashton.
Hey, Andy, do you want to remind our viewers who you were thinking about?
First of all, let me clarify that this person was not my first choice. I put him as second choice, second and third, as in
No,
tied with
it was first or second.
I can
I
go
got
back
the
and read you the
receipts.
conversation we had. I
Okay.
said my number one now probably is Pete Buttigieg. That was a fact. You can go look that up.
Okay.
I said second and third because I couldn't really distinguish between the two because I could care less about either one, was Biden and Bloomberg. Now, to be fair, I was wrong, and I watched the debate, and he's terrible.
Do
And
you want to tell the people what I asked you when you said Bloomberg?
how can you trust a candidate that you haven't even heard his voice?
Well, no, I feel like uh, you know,
As you sit
Pat.
there on your high horse,
No, Pat's
pretend like
making
you're the
fun.
political master.
I'm not a political master, but past making fun of you. I think it's a serious point if you ask someone, "Oh, why are you supporting or why do you think this candidate may be good?" and you ask them, "Well, can you tell me what they sound like?" and they're like, "Oh no, that's not good." Especially if that person hasn't been
Now I
on
know what he
debate
sounds
stage
like.
yet.
Let me tell you, I'm disappointed.
Yeah, there's a reason why you never heard any of his voice on the ads. There is a reason, and his ad
Excuse
people are
me.
good. They're really good. I've seen
No,
some really
did
good
you see that
ads.
Twitter? I'm gonna put this in the video. Or I'm gonna try to. Where he had this Twitter video where it was about the debate. And he edited it, and he asked. He was like, "Does anyone on the stage have business experience?" And then he goes to the edit of like each person being confused and silent, and he adds cricket noises to the video. Like it's so funny. I mean, it's stupid. It's stupidly funny in a way that people actually will believe that, and that's the sad part. But it was just like, why would you post that,
I
Bloomberg?
loved a Twitter comment from like after debate. Someone's like, "Yeah, he's probably gonna force the entire country into like a legal document that makes us forget about his debate performance. He's gonna
Yeah,
make us all sign
he's got a non-disclosure
NDAs.
agreement.
He's gonna make us the entire country
We
sign
all
like a
know he
death
loves
note."
those.
Yes. Which
So
will I say? How cringy was that?
that was
That's
awful.
bad.
I know I was watching it, and like
That was bad.
they they perfectly picked that pressure point in Bloomberg's neck, and they kept attacking it, and that made him look weak. I mean, he's got nothing to say, and that's something they're going to be able to use is this stuff that stop and frisk, and they're going to be able to use the NDAs.
See, if I was Bloomberg's manager, I feel like I could win him this race because anytime you get attacked, just
There he
pivot.
is again, everybody. Ashton on his political high horse.
No, pivot to Trump. How hard is this? When someone comes at you and it's like, "Oh, you're a millionaire and
But Trump,
yada yada," you sign NDAs. All you have to do is pivot and say, "I'm better than the guy in the White House," and here's why: because at least I don't brag about assaulting women. At least I don't like
that's fair. That's fair.
bam, bam, bam. Like if you can pivot to Trump, I feel like that would diffuse some of the attacks coming his
Yep.
way. Now, Bloomberg's not a good debater. Let's can we both agree on that, Andy?
I mean, I at least agree on that. Of all the things we talk about on this show, from now, past, and future,
Yeah.
Bloomberg is not a good debater. At least as of today, February 23rd, 2020, he is not a good debater.
But
Now,
you
does he get before he dies become an excellent debater? Who knows? We doubt it, but who knows?
but unlike other candidates, he has trucks. I mean, as far as you can see, filled with money, ready, ready to start spending
Oh,
in those Super Tuesday
yeah.
states.
I mean, it
Which
doesn't matter how he debates. He just has money.
we're gonna plug our future Super Tuesday video that we're gonna end up doing in a few days.
Yep.
But let's go on to South Carolina.
Yes,
And
excited. Finally, after we danced around it, I'm ready to talk about my state. I love it. I love this state.
yeah, yeah, South Carolina has historically been really good at predicting the nominee.
Hmm.
Um, Democratic side, it's a little bit less, or it's actually more so than the Republican side. Because if you remember, Trump won South Carolina in 2016, but Gingrich
Made me
won in
sad. I
2012.
wanted Rubio to win, but we don't get what we want sometimes. But
Yeah, he came in second, and I voted for him. So, uh, but moving on, who are you leaning towards now in the current
so
circumstance?
I think that I'm gonna go through my top three.
Okay.
I think number one, I've said it from the beginning, and I think it's just not enough time I think there's people that's surging behind him, but I think there's not enough time for them to catch up. And I think Joe Biden finally wins his first state in South Carolina. I mean, he has been number one in South Carolina from the beginning of the primary season, and he has not lost his lead.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he easily landslides first. I'm not going to predict a percentage count because we've seen in Nevada, it's crazy when things happen. So I'm not going to predict that. I think he gets a good margin, a good margin, at least above 30%. But I'm not going to predict any more than
You
that.
like 30% of the vote, or like
30
30% lead?
30% of the vote, at least, in my opinion. But we're not. I'm not. I can't predict that because I know I'm going to be dead wrong if I do. But so I got Biden first. Hold on
Mm-hmm.
1 second. My second one is tough for me because my second and third guy could flip flop depending on how the debate goes in these coming days. But as of right now, what I've seen, because of past and because of debates and because of just the surgeon of him, I think Sanders comes in second in South
Okay.
Carolina. I had him at third. I think he moves up to second. I don't think he wins. I just don't think it. It's not enough time for him to come up. But I
Mm-hmm.
think so. Sanders gets second. Now third, who I originally had at second, but now is third because he's falling a little bit in this state, but still has a good margin, is Tom Steyer. I have Tom Steyer going third because him not having a debate is going to hurt him.
I are you done?
I am done. You may now go, Your Highness.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna say the talk about Tom Steyer. I actually think Tom Steyer is gonna get shanked so hard in that
Shank.
South Carolina debate by Biden. I feel like Biden is gonna act like Tom Steyer is the guy holding his wife hostage. He's just gonna like go after him with no hold bar, because that's the only thing holding down Biden right now, especially in South Carolina. And
Mhm.
Biden is surging right now in South Carolina. People haven't been paying attention. He used to be around averaging 3 points in South Carolina lead. Now he's going more up to 5. Do you know how many polls have showed Biden not in the lead in South Carolina?
Very, very few.
Out of last 20, only one, and it showed a tied, and that was like 5 polls ago.
Was it like a
So
Charleston poll?
that was a Change Research poll,
I don't know. I was wrong. I could see
but it showed your
Charleston
man
voting
Tom
Sanders though.
Steyer at 20%.
He's not my man. What do you mean?
I'm kidding.
I'm not a
But
man of Tom Steyer.
not Tom Steyer is sad. Um, if I had to pick
Ashton's
my,
quote. Tom Steyer is sad.
yeah, he will be sad after debate. I predicted Bloomberg was going to get like torn apart. It's going to be the same thing with Steyer, because Sanders and Biden will go after Steyer, looking for some of that South Carolina African American vote.
So
And it
you got
wouldn't.
Biden at number one. Yeah, are we gonna?
Yeah, I'll go Biden, and then
So your number two is. See, it's
it's
hard.
hard.
It's hard.
I will go Sanders and Pete tie for
Oh,
second and third.
so you which one would you give the edge to?
Sanders
So
easily.
you got Biden one, Sanders two. So me and you have the same one and two, but you put Pete at
Yeah,
three.
yeah. I
So the
feel like
tiebreaker, if the first two are correct, would be that third spot.
yeah. I feel like Tom Steyer will drop off a little bit more, especially when people go in the booth and realize he has no chance and there's no point in voting for him. Um, on top
I
of
don't know.
getting shanked
People
in
are
debate,
living in the state. I can tell you, sometimes debates don't matter.
I thought the same thing before New Hampshire, and Amy Klobuchar somehow pulled second. So
She didn't get second.
oh sorry, third. Sorry, a strong third, and she got 20% of the vote, which no one thought was going to happen. And I feel like debates this time around kind of matter a little bit more than normal because you have so many strong candidates.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, those are my three. South Carolina, I feel like is going to put Biden on the map. It'll give him a strong
Yep.
restart.
I mean,
Which I'm a little surprised by how weak his start has been. But Sanders is no
slouch.
super strong front runner. He won Nevada by a good amount. He barely won New Hampshire, and I would say tie Iowa.
He lost Iowa according to the votes. You can say
Well,
what you want about messing up, and they didn't want him to win, but at the end of the day, what matters was Pete Buttigieg won Iowa. That
and
is what I
Pete
will read.
and Pete would have won New Hampshire had it not been for Amy. So it's one of those things where Sanders has gotten a little lucky, but he's also put together a really good organization.
Hmm.
He got a really good win in Nevada. His strength is not in the Southeast. It wasn't against Hillary. It's not going to be this time. And
Yes,
his only thing stopping him was Biden. And if Biden regained ground, which he did, he got second, which a lot of people didn't see happening. Um, it'll be interesting moving on. It'll be
yes.
really interesting.
I'm very excited to go vote on Saturday.
Your first
Um,
presidential election.
First official voting. Yes. Um, I love this time of year. I love voting. I think it's just fun to go do, and
Yeah,
I'm gonna go ahead and say here right now, both me and Ashton on Political Perch, we urge you to go out and vote.
yeah. No matter who
Um,
you're supporting.
you could write in candidate tree limb for all we care, but you need to go out there and at least vote. That is your civic duty as Americans, as people, as whatever you want to call yourself. If you live in this country, you need to go vote because if not, you have no say over the government. You have nothing. You cannot complain unless you at least put your voice heard. So
And,
please, please go vote. Please go vote
I will say also,
if you live in South Carolina.
if you can, please do try to put a little bit of research into the candidates
Yes.
that you're voting on. At least have an educated vote and vote for the person you find will do best. And there's a lot of things that go into voting, but our point is no matter who you support, that should be something that we all want to do. I think it's criminal, or not criminal, but it's very bad to see only 50% of Americans voting in elections.
Yeah.
It's like politics doesn't have to be a bad thing where you argue at each other. You can have good conversations about just where you feel the country should go. And that doesn't have to be a negative thing.
That's what we're
It
trying
just,
to do in this channel is
yeah,
have us come on and have a positive space where we can just, argue, but just healthy debate each
debate,
other
healthy.
about what we have, and we want this to grow and involve you guys, and we all just have a civil conversation because we both hate this huge political disparity that we have in this country right now. The distance is just growing by the minute,
So
and
much negativity.
so much negativity and hate, and we just want a place here where we can come together and honestly look at just the facts and including emotions and including everything. So it's a safe
Mhm.
space for everybody.
Andy, first we want to apologize for the quality. We're working on it. We're gonna get the stuff better. But to end this quickly, I'm gonna ask you a quick question. If Bernie Sanders wins South Carolina, is it basically over?
Yes. If Bernie wins South Carolina, he wins. He's going to win the candidacy for the Democrats. I just don't. It's not going to be possible for anybody to surmount the lead when he has another win in his belt, especially in a state where Biden is supposed to win. It's not. It's over.
I will disagree. Um, I feel like if he wins South Carolina, it's either going to be him winning the nomination or a contested convention, which he could easily lose. Um, I will say this: if Biden loses South Carolina, he's dropping out. You can agree to that, right?
Probably
Yeah, he'll drop
depends how
out.
stubborn he is.
I I feel like at that point his people will tell him he doesn't have a path, and he's just blocking someone like Pete who can get a little bit more energy. Um, I could see Amy dropping out after South Carolina. It's like if you place lower than Tom Steyer, you don't need to be there. That's
Yeah,
that
but
it should be called the Tom Steyer rule.
yeah, but we'll see how South Carolina goes. and we're
Tom
excited.
Steyer will probably drop out too after South Carolina.
Yeah, but like I said, we'll see. We'll see after
Mm-hmm.
this weekend how it goes. Just to can't speak. Just to drive the nail in the head again. Um, if you take one thing away from this entire video, our entire YouTube channel, go vote.
Yeah,
Please go
but
vote. If you're in the state of South Carolina watching this, go vote. If you're not, find out when your state's voting. It's gonna be
Super
Tuesday,
Tuesday. Woo!
and figure out and go vote. We suggest you to do it, and we are gonna vote, and we're excited. And yeah, we're gonna be back soon for our Super Tuesday preview show, as Ashton alluded to earlier, where we just talk about all the states that kind of clumped up and have
Yeah,
some
we
fun with that.
we'll do the funnest part and predict winners and losers. That way we can make fun of each other when we're wrong. All right.
Yeah,
Well,
like me with Sanders in Nevada. But yeah, it's gonna be a fun time. A lot more political perch coming. If you like our videos and want to see more, or if you don't and you want to suggest how we can do better, other than video quality, which we promise you is gonna get better. Just gotta wait for just a little bit longer. But if you do like it, please like, subscribe, comment. We love all those things. Like the video. You know what to do. I'm Andy, and this is Ashton. And until next time, bye.
Yep. Bye.